Our guest speaker, the 9-time Emmy Award winner Cheryl Jennings, needs no introduction. She is a veteran news anchor and journalist. She has too many humanitarian efforts to mention here. And this time she's joining us in an effort to bring public and professional awareness to the field of dry eyes.
Everybody talks about how this is really an eye disease. I didn't know that what it was. I just have dry eyes. I volunteered to be on this panel. I wanted to help, and my husband both want to use our social media platforms, whatever we can do to help, because people do need to get the word out about why this needs to be a subspecialty. Once it's discovered, it has to be managed every single day. And I do manage it with a lot of tools. I was really excited to see all of the vendors here today because I use all of your products. It is debilitating. For me, in my former job as a news anchor for ABC, I was in front of the computer for 16, 18 hours a day sometimes, and in the studio with bright lights. And that's a lot of time in front of those bright lights, air-conditioned studio, on the computer constantly, and doing social media blurbs in between the commercial breaks. So always working and always trying, why can't I see? Why can't I see? And I look like I was always tired and my eyes were bloodshot. It's not a good look for somebody who's supposed to be a trusted position of authority. So sometimes when I was writing my documentaries at home, I would have, the pain was so bad in my eye, I would have to just sit there and hold it like this and try to write with one hand. I could not get enough moisture in my eyes. So I also had LASIK surgery many, many years ago before anybody knew the real consequences of what that does to your eyes, which made my eyes even drier. It was great at the time. I loved it because I was doing international traveling. And so the ability to see without glasses or contact lenses, it was worth it at the time. Now I'm paying the price. I knew I needed help. I didn't know where to get that help. I didn't have anybody in my ophthalmology field who could tell me what was going on with me. But a friend of mine whom I'd met through interviews, a federal judge, said she was complaining about her eyes and how she had gotten better. And I said, oh, I have that same condition. And I said, well, who do you see? And she said, Dr. Musadi. And I said, okay. So I called Dr. Musadi's office, got an appointment. And that was the beginning of the change for me for the better for the rest of my life. I'm sure that she has preserved my vision because of what she taught me. But it's a lot of work. The first tools that she and her office team used on me was this little squeezy thing. And those of you who know, that's not a scientific term, but it's like a pair of tweezers, and they just press to see if you can get the oil glands out of your eyes. Somebody knows the name of that tool, but the expression, but it's a squeezy thing to me. And so they would do that and nothing would come out. I mean, it was so painful, even with the drops that are supposed to numb the eye, nothing happened. So it took many, many, many months of all of that, and the eye drops and the hydro eye, the vitamins and LipiFlow, and then the IPL. I did all of that. And eventually it started to work. My last checkup was the best checkup I've had in years. She got oil to come out of almost every single gland, which is like a miracle to me. So thank you. We've recently moved to Nevada, which is even drier than the lovely Bay Area. I can't find anybody in Nevada. You were talking about how nobody's around. I talked to my primary doctor and I said, I have this dry eye disease. And he looked at me and he said, what's that? And he wouldn't even refer me to somebody who knew anything about it because he didn't know anybody and he didn't know anything about it. And he's got 30 years in the business. So I thought, oh boy, I'm in trouble. So we now fly back from Las Vegas to at least twice a year, more if we can, to get treated by Dr. Musadi so that I can keep that momentum going. And I will do whatever I can. And also, I'm hoping that you will also help share the message that we really need to treat this like a disease to save people's sight. So thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate it.
Eye health starts at the surface, but I want to add to that, it also finishes at the surface.